Hi there, my name's Megan, and today is day 2 of the Ultimate Hype Witch. I am excited to dive deeper into the topic of surrender. And today I just want to focus on what surrender means in relationships. And for me, I love the practice of surrender within a relationship. I think it has a lot to do with letting go of control and releasing any expectations that you may have with your partner, your friends, your family. A lot of people try to control other people and tell them how they should be living in regards to and in relation to you versus learning how to surrender and just radically accept the other person that you are relating to exactly as they are. And you may not agree with them, you may not want them to be acting in that way, but newsflash, their world does not revolve around you. And the sooner you can accept someone and for their authentic expression, the more loving you can become and the more soft you can become and the more love you can pour into the other person. Because if someone else, there are exceptions to the rule, but the majority of people are just kind humans just doing the best that they can, right? Like a lot of people aren't acting maliciously. I don't live in that reality. I live in a harmonious world where most people just want to be witnessed and want to be seen and want to connect and foster deep connections with one another and are seeking that within themselves and really want to be building community and relating to people on a deeper level. Like we are in that era, especially with this technological advancement and now AI is coming into the picture, all of the things. Like people just want to foster deeper connections and everyone is willing to become vulnerable, but they have to feel safe. They have to feel safe to be themselves. They have to feel safe that they aren't going to be judged. And the quicker you can surrender your own will and your own way, the sooner that the universe can show you that you're not always right, and that's okay. And life isn't about being right. It's not about being wrong. It's just about being. Just be. And if you can allow yourself to just be, then you can meet other people with so much more grace and compassion in their life. And those are two of my favorite themes, and we'll get to those probably soon. But once we release expectations on how someone else is supposed to be showing up, then we can call in and co-create these loving, depth-filled, vulnerable relationships with our friends, with our family, with our partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, siblings, everyone, right? And we can just become more loving and more harmonious. And it has to, surrender, I believe, is synonymous with trust and trusting yourself and trusting the other person, whoever you're trying to be in relationship with. Maybe it's even a client, trust builds the foundations of all good relationships. And when you can surrender and flow and detach yourself from the outcomes of certain situations and what you think, this relationship is supposed to look like versus actually just having a conversation up front about what you think this relationship should look like or could look like, or come up with these agreements on how to trust, how to build that trust, and how to surrender into that trust and really allow yourself to flow more fluidly in that relationship versus forcing yourself to do things that you're not necessarily comfortable with and forcing someone else to do things that they don't want to be doing, right? And that's where surrender in relationships really really can present us with this presence and acceptance and it can allow us to deepen our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with spirit. And I know from my personal experience that as soon as I released control and expectations of how other people were meant to be showing up, and I just chose to love them for exactly as they are and accept them for exactly as they are in this moment, because regardless of how they were showing up, and it has nothing to do with me, because they are sovereign beings and they are beings of free will, and they can choose to live their life however they want to. And if it is impacting me so much that my life is affected by it and it's not going to work for me, then I have to make the decision to alter that relationship and get in right relationship with what I'm calling in, and get back into alignment with what I'm really focusing on, what I'm focusing on building, what I'm focusing on creating, what I'm focusing on fostering. Because ultimately, people are going to do what they want to do, and that's exactly what they should be doing. Yeah. So as soon as we release control and we surrender and we get out of our own heads and let go and let other people go. I think a lot of people want to just like hold on to maybe a moment in time when that person was showing up in the way that they thought they were going to always show up. Once we just accept that moment, accept that person for exactly as they are, surrender our own will to the divinity that we are, then we can just live in a more harmonious and compassionate and loving world. And isn't that what we want to do here? Like, don't we want to just connect and play and create for the sake of creating, and to live in community and in relationship and be witnessed and be vulnerable and be seen? Control has everything to do with the ego. And once we detach ourselves and surrender, so many miracles and so much magic can just enter our lives so swiftly. But we have to create that space, and we've got to relinquish that control. We've got to surrender to something higher than ourselves and trust in our own divinity and timing, that everything is working out so beautifully, and that everything is and will continue to be so glorious. Well, this was tonight's message on surrender and relationships. And if you like this, I hope you continue to watch. Have a good night.